Hey everybody, this is Mike Bono from the North Andover Athletic Association, and you are listening to the Nightly News Podcast, the show that brings you inside the lines of North Andover High School athletics. All right, welcome back to the Nightly News Podcast. Al, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing great. Our special guest today, Coach Jen Pino from the girls varsity lacrosse team. Welcome, Coach, to the Nightly News Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Looking forward to the spring season?
Yes.
So as we tape this, we get a pending snowstorm coming in, which could push things back a few days, maybe? I don't know.
This is Monday, the 13th of March. So
Yes.
Mark it on your calendars.
But, Coach, before we kind of get into the team, I want to talk a little bit about you because as I kind of did some research, you graduated from North Andover High,
Yep.
Townie, another Townie in the works here as a coach. 2009, graduated North Andover High, played lacrosse on the high school team,
Yep.
played varsity soccer, played hockey, 3-sport athlete, 2-sport athlete at Merrimack College. Quite the athlete, as I mentioned. Just tell us a little bit more about sort of your sports experience back in high school and in college, if you wouldn't mind.
I think I just kind of felt most comfortable in sports, and I now work in sports. So I think that's just where kind of my passion came for the game. I think me in school, I kind of struggled a little bit. So I think on the field in a different way, that's kind of where I grew as a person through sports. So I think I was always willing to try different sports and just kind of excited when my fall season ended, get right into hockey season. When the winter season ended, and get right into lacrosse. So I just kind of enjoyed that and just seeing all the different types of teams I was a part of and different girls that I've met along the way. It was a really big part of my life.
What was your most successful high school team that you played on?
My senior year for lacrosse, definitely we made it to the state championship, but unfortunately lost.
Who'd you lose to?
We lost to Norwell, which was actually kind of funny because I ended up going to Merrimack and playing with a girl that had face guarded me in that game.
Gotcha.
So it was kind of funny because
sure.
My college coach actually pulled up a picture of her covering me. So
Small world.
Yeah.
And while you were at Merrimack, you played 2 varsity sports. You played soccer and you played lacrosse, if I have that right. Mm-hmm. How was that? That just must have been so difficult to manage time and academics and sports.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like I said before, school was really challenging for me at times, and I think having the structure of being in season and my coaches being on me and my teammates helping me out and lots of study hall and just having that structured schedule kind of kept me in line and where I needed to be at the college level. I think, yes, there were days where it was a grind and weeks and months and things like that, but I think I'm the type of person that needs to kind of stay busy. And I think Merrimack was just a great fit for me. I know I was looking at some D1 schools and always going back and forth and who wouldn't want to play Division I, right? But I think for me, Merrimack was a great fit because I was actually playing. I played all 4 years. I didn't sit on a bench for 2 and then fought my way. Mm-hmm. I was very involved in both programs. And I liked the idea of, again, I couldn't really choose at that time in my junior year of high school of what I really loved, what I wanted to play. I enjoyed both. So I think that was a big part of my decision as well to go to Merrimack and play both sports.
A little bit I know of college sports. Sorry, Mike. Coaches can get territorial. Was it ever any friction between the 2 coaches since you're playing varsity 2 sports?
So I think having it be fall and spring, mm-hmm. I never would miss a real game. I know it's a little tricky if it was
hockey and
lacrosse,
yeah.
right? The seasons kind of mix in there, but I think both coaches knew not really why I was there, but that was a big part of why I picked Merrimack. Mm-hmm. And I think they took a chance on me, and they loved that I played both sports. I think it's good to keep in that structure. I personally was like, everyone else has it wrong, because I was always in season.
Right.
And to be honest, the off season of both sports is
Harder
very
than
challenging.
Sure.
So like my teammates for lacrosse were playing fall ball, running 3 miles in under 21 minutes, and I'm having fun on the soccer fields, to get ready for a game. Which,
Interesting.
I mean, I like games better than practices. Let's be
everyone does.
honest.
Who doesn't, right? Yeah. Oh, that's great. And plus, you didn't have to go far to get your clothes washed. Like you could go home and get your laundry done,
Yeah.
which is convenient. So let's talk a little bit about. So last year, you guys regular season 9-11 made it to the NAAA tournament, but you did have a relatively tough schedule from the opponent rankings and the power rankings. And lost to Weymouth, I think, in the first round. What do you take from last year that you can sort of carry over as momentum into 2023 season?
I think a lot of our big wins, or a lot of the games, even if we didn't win, we learned a lot from those losses. I think coming into this year is more like I have my first year under my belt, and same with my assistant coach, Caitlin Enright. Like, we were both really young, like first year coaches. Yes, we've coached in the program, but me personally, just being a head coach of a program, like I'm the one making the decisions. Just kind of learning from those mistakes that I've made, and little things of like pregame speech. How am I gonna like motivate my players? Halftime speech, when I call a timeout, like little things like that. I think as you go on in coaching, and really in anything, like you get more comfortable, and you really need to like trust yourself. So I think just having that first year under my belt and being like, I can do this, like this is something that I have passion for, and I was almost like born to do, right? So just having that confidence from last year and bringing that into this year, I think, will be a big help.
Good. And you had mentioned when you took the job, you said you want to inspire student athletes and show what it takes to win on and off the field.
Yep.
And you had mentioned there's nothing more rewarding than watching the student athletes grow and become better people. Can you just talk a little bit about that? Like, how do you hope to influence them to achieve that goal?
Yeah, I think because that hits home for me, because when I was a student athlete, I think at the high school level, my coaches, like Coach Leahy, Coach Rassinen, Jensen then, but they really, really paved the way for me. They helped me off the field almost more than they helped me on the field. And I, like I said, I hope to do that to other student athletes, because some kids need it more than others, and some, when they come to practice, it's the best part of their day. And I just want to be there for those kids that really need that push. And like, I still stay connected with some girls that are playing in college or not playing in college, but just checking in and knowing that I'm there for them and care for them, and more of just a lacrosse player. And I think because I had such a positive experience in high school, that's kind of what I want to like give back. That's why I'm here. Like, that's why I'm back in North Andover. That's why I'm teaching in North Andover, coaching in North Andover. Because if I didn't have a great experience, why am I going to come back, right?
Sure.
So I think just in all, it's a good thing for the community too. Like, keeping kids in here, like in North Andover, and just being proud to be a North Andover Knight. And I am a teacher too, so just kind of
middle school.
Yeah.
North Andover Middle School.
Yep.
Yeah, gym teacher.
So I kind of have the same motto with my students too. Like, they don't have to be the best athlete, phys ed teacher. They don't have to be the best athlete in the class. They just have to be able to have a good work ethic, working hard, and just have a good attitude about life and about what they're doing.
In our last podcast, Mr. Sturdivant,
Yeah.
digital literacy teacher at the
Yeah.
middle school. We joked about him recruiting kids for track kids.
Yeah.
Any recruiting going on in the sixth grade gym class?
Maybe a little bit. We did purchase some lacrosse sticks.
There you go.
When the weather's nice, just because we have some big classes, we'll get outside and have them play around.
Oh, geez, between you and Mr. Wood, who's also a gym teacher over
Yeah.
there, the other people don't stand a chance.
I know.
So last year was your first year as a head coach.
Yeah.
What was something that you weren't counting on, going into the season that you didn't expect that would be a challenge?
Honestly, for me, this is where Coach Enright is the best. For me, it's more behind the scenes stuff, emails, making sure the girl, it's so helpful that she is in the building.
Mm-hmm.
That just if I forgot to mention something or whatever, it's a quick, and technology helps too, but it's just a quick message that we can send,
Mm-hmm.
she can send to the captains or whatnot. But I think more of the behind the scenes stuff of just staying organized.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that if I have to do it, I will do it, right? So it's kind of like learning as I go, okay, I have to send this email, so I'm going to send this email,
Right.
versus when I was an assistant, it's we talked about sending the email, but then the head coach sent the email.
Right.
So
delegation, some of it's delegating too, right?
Exactly, and just kind of managing. This year will be a little bit more of a challenge that I absolutely love. Is we will most likely have a freshman team.
Great.
Or JVB, JVA type thing. Not sure, depending on numbers, but yeah. So again, managing another team,
Right.
It's not just me at varsity. It's me now managing JV, me managing freshmen as well. So.
Talk a little bit about this year's team, what your outlook is for the season. Captains, returning sort of impact
Yeah.
players.
So our 3 captains are amazing. They've already done so much before season outside of lacrosse, just volunteering their time, handing out uniforms for the youth teams, going to clinics. So anytime I text them, it's they respond right away.
Who are they?
Katie Roy, Fallon Hurley, and Kate Fitzgibbons. So they have been great. I'm really, really excited to have them. It seems like they're just naturals, asking me what I need, not me telling them. I'm really excited for the leadership that we have, just the entire senior class as well. So I'm really excited for that leadership. Plus, they've also had me last year and kind of know how I roll. So it'll be good. As far as the entire team as a season, I think our culture is much better. Again, they know what I expect. I'm a competitor. I can get heated sometimes, but they kind of know how to deal with that now. So I'm just excited to get things started. The beginning is always the toughest, and the jitters. I get the same jitters as the players do, but at the end of the day, we're there for what we love to do. And when you're passionate about something, it usually just comes naturally. So I think it'll be a great test for us this year. We do have a lot of tough games again, but those are the games that I love.
Who's the toughest competition in the MVC?
In the MVC, ooh, that's a tough one. It's usually, so Central Catholic will most likely be our toughest, but it's usually Central Catholic, Andover, Chelmsford, and us are kind of the top dogs.
Yep.
Well, Central was 18-0-1 in the regular season last year,
Yeah,
ranked 5th in the
they're-
tournament. Chelmsford was number 13, and Andover was number 20. So
Yeah,
it kind of aligns
so-
with what you're saying.
Yeah.
And what about out of conference? So I didn't even look at out of conference schedule, but did you try to raise that up a little bit as far as the competition goes for the power rankings and how all that works?
For this year, we've kind of kept it more the same because usually when you do a non-league game, you like one's home and then the next year's away, so it's kind of like a two-year deal.
Yeah.
But like Concord Carlisle for us is a really tough challenge, but I kind of like those games. I like having one that maybe will get you ready for the tournament, or one that maybe we don't do great in, but it's a learning experience, or it's like, okay, it humbles them, like this is where we want to be one day, or
right.
we can hang with this team. Like, so either way, I think it's a great learning experience, win or lose. And then as everyone kind of does, you have some that are like, okay, we should win this game.
Sure.
It'll help boost our power rankings or
right.
something like that. But
yeah. I did go to a few games last year because my niece Emma was on the team, and it seemed like there were some younger kids like Megan Daly, Issa Robinson, freshmen who are now sophomores. Must have been good experience for them to get as they freshman year. They seem to get a lot of playing time. Is the team younger, like older, like a lot of seniors? How would you describe?
So I do think we still have a lot of young talent. We have a lot of young freshmen coming in. Again, like Issa and Megan, those young sophomores that have gotten a lot of playing time last year. Again, that helps us drastically this year, just knowing our systems already. Not waiting till, 3 games in to be like, oh, okay, now I know. Like, they already know. They know the feeling of night games, like against Central Catholic. So I think that really will help us. Our senior class, again, I can't say better things about them. Like, they love the sport of lacrosse, and they love their team and bringing girls together, so I'm excited about that. Obviously, Janie Papel coming in junior year, like last year, she was our top scorer, leading offensive threat. So again, just having her another year under our belt, knowing that last year, maybe some might think that I put a little too much pressure on her, but I only do that because I think she can handle it, and she had a few games where she won the winning goal with seconds left. So just having that under her belt as well, coming in junior year and already being put in those positions will really help us.
How many regular season games do you guys play?
So we have 20.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
A physical sport like that, yeah.
And our season is March. Our first game is April 4th, and we end May 25th. So it's like crammed in there. Yeah.
Can you talk? So you mentioned earlier that captains were doing some clinics, which we always talk about with the coaches. Like, it's great to see the basketball teams doing a clinic with the booster club, and the soccer team does a similar type thing.
The track for sure.
Track team, yeah, they do it as well. Do you have a pretty good relationship with North Andover Youth Lacrosse? Like, how does that all work?
Yes, we definitely do, and there was just assigned a new president, and it could not have gone any smoother. We are constantly in communication with the youth programs. We send girls to clinics. Caitlin Enright, my assistant coach, has gone to a few Sunday clinics already. And our girls, again, the youth kids love seeing the varsity girls. Like, sometimes we sat down with the youth directors, and we're like, listen, yes, we bring our knowledge to the game, and we can teach them lots of things, but they love seeing the high school girls there. They look at them, like, they really look up to them. They get really excited when they go. And sometimes, like, even them coming to our summer camps, like, they have, like, inside jokes and stuff. Like, they don't want to see me anymore. So it's a really great relationship. I'm grateful to be close with all of the women's director, or the girls director, the president, and even, like, treasurer. Like, I'm, like, really close with. So it's a great experience. And I think if you look at every successful high school program, they have a very successful youth program. And if they don't, they have a great relationship with them at least. So I think having that relationship with the youth program is really, really important.
Did you play club sports like lacrosse or soccer or hockey?
I played club soccer all growing up. I didn't start lacrosse till 7th grade, and then I stopped playing lacrosse, and then I jumped back in high school. So I did not play club. I played some random tournaments just to get looks at college, but I wasn't like on a part of the team. But I did play club soccer all throughout my whole career.
Makes your playing at Merrimack all the more impressive. Truthfully, to stop playing in 8th grade and then pick it up again, I mean, you didn't play since you were 5. That's for sure, right? So.
My daughter's picking up a lacrosse stick for the first time since 4th grade. I think she's gonna kill me.
We are very excited about that.
Oh yeah, I think she almost broke a light bulb in the Daly's garage when they were practicing. Hopefully they're not listening, but or worse, a window in their car. Anyway, so I was just going to ask you about the club scene. Like I know Al often asks like strategy, right? You have girls who play club lacrosse, and then they come to you and then, does that sort of clash with your strategy, or, and then, how many girls do play club versus, play like Janie Papel plays 2 other sports, right? It's impossible to be able to play all that club sports stuff. So just talk about that landscape.
So I think club soccer, is a really different game than like town soccer or high school soccer. Lacrosse, same idea, but I think the main thing that I kind of tell girls is like, so usually club lacrosse is like to showcase yourself, right? So, and it's more stat driven, where I try to really get these girls to understand, like, I don't care if you score 8 goals against Methuen, like, I want us to, like, how did we score those 8 goals, right? Like,
within the structure of your plan, kind of.
Yes,
thing.
Exactly. Like, did you just, because you're better than the girl that you're against, did you just like run by them and score? And it was like, okay, you got the goal, but like.
But you're not doing that against the top team because the girls can keep up with you. Right.
It's tough because it's like I want them to be confident, right? And who doesn't want to score goals, right? But I also want them to understand, and I think in the club level, it's more about showcasing, and it's more individual drives. Not all around. It kind of depends. It's like it's tough because I don't want to like knock, because I've coached club lacrosse all the time, and again, when I coached club lacrosse, we were different than a lot of the other teams out there because we did a motion, we got it behind at X. Like in a tournament in club, you rarely see girls get it to X and like do slow breaks, and it's like because the games are 20 minutes and they're like boom, 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 goal, 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 goal. So I think that's the biggest difference. It's not selfishness, it's just a different type of offense that they run. Defensively, I think it's very similar.
Got it. And you probably, like you mentioned Concord Carlisle, right? They probably have, they probably have most of their team on a, playing club, playing all year round, versus like how many kids on your team typically play club lacrosse?
I want to say maybe like 8 of them. Yeah. Maybe. That's probably pushing it.
Yeah.
But I always say you don't have to play club to get better. Yes, it helps because you're usually playing more, right? And the coaching is usually really good. But just get that stick in your hand and wall ball is like the biggest thing that I can kind of tell kids, especially when they're first starting out. Just get your stick in your hands, even if you're, sorry to all the parents out there, but in your living room and just flipping the ball up and down, up and down, up and down, like hand-eye coordination, stick is control, in your hand. Right. So I don't think like kids shouldn't play club sports, but yeah, with any sport, it's a challenge to fit in schedules and thinking, and yeah.
Speed, from the games that I saw, speed seems to be like a differentiator in the game.
Yeah.
We were joking with, in the last podcast, with DJ and Connor just about the amount of kids in the track and field program, right? They have like 30-something kids registered. Are there kids that either played lacrosse that are just like lightning fast that you just wish you could put a lacrosse stick in their hand?
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like our big, like, we're like, oh, they're track person, or they're like, we do a turkey trot at the middle school. And I'm like, wow, that one's fast.
Yeah. You could tell at an early age. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was just curious if there were like kids that hey, you come try lacrosse, come try something different. If that's ever, have you been able to get anybody to like come back?
Yeah,
to
well,
lacrosse?
we also held a new player clinic this past fall, and I kind of like recruited some people from 6th, 7th, and 8th grade of just come and try it.
Yeah.
And we did. We have almost, I think there's like 8 of our freshmen that have played before, and the other 15 or so have never played. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Good. Anything else that you want to talk about, just about the lacrosse program, or anything we didn't cover during our conversation?
I don't think so.
No?
I think, yeah.
Good. Well, I appreciate you coming in. Best of luck with the season, and we'll be rooting the girls lacrosse team on. So until next time, everybody, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.